today and it's nearly night time. It's getting dark outside. When it gets dark, we turn on the lights. The lights at home need electricity to work. Can you think of anything else that needs electricity? We use electricity when we watch TV, when we heat something up in the microwave, and we can even use electricity to run a car. This is an electric car, and it gets its energy from electricity to work. But how does an electric car use electricity to move? Do you know how an electric car works? Let's find out. How does it work?
Electric car.
To find out how an electric car works, I've come to an electric car centre. Over here we have an electric car. It uses electricity to move. And here we've got a fuel-powered car. Fuel-powered cars use diesel or petrol to move. They might look the same, but there are some big differences. You must never play with the controls or open the bonnet of a car without a grown-up, but I've been given special permission to tell you how it works. When I turn the engine on, it makes a noise. Did you hear that? It's like a sound, isn't it? The engine is burning fuel to make energy so the car can move. But as it burns fuel, it creates fumes which go into the air and they can be harmful. This is called pollution. But under the bonnet of an electric car, I can't see in the engine. Look, there's just a space. And you can even put your shopping bags in it. But how can a car move without an engine? Whoa, look at this. It's the skeleton of an electric car. The windows, doors and the body have all been taken off. So that means we can see inside it. Can you see this large black box? This is the battery, and it's the battery that stores the electricity which is used to power the car. At the back here is the electric car's motor. It uses electricity from the car's battery to turn, and that will make the wheels turn so the car moves. Right, I think it's time we took an electric car for a drive. Now, let's switch on the electric car and see if we can hear anything. There was a little beep to tell us that the car had switched on, but now what? Nothing. There's silence, and that's because the electric car doesn't have an engine. Instead, it has an electric motor, and the electric motor doesn't make any noise. And because it doesn't burn fuel, which makes fumes, it doesn't create any pollution. Let's go. So if an electric car doesn't use diesel or petrol, how do we charge the battery to give it more energy? This is an electric charge point. You must never go near or play with a charge point, but I've got special permission to show you how this one works. To charge the car, I need one of these. It's called a charging cable. This is what we use to connect the charging point to the car. Now, electricity can flow from the charging point through the charging cable, through this socket, and into the batteries inside the car. The batteries will store electricity and use it for when the car needs to move. But how does the electricity in the batteries move the car? To find out, I think we need to take a closer look. When we switch on an electric car, electricity flows from the battery through the cables to the motor. The motor is made of two parts, the stator and the rotor. An electric current goes through metal coils. This makes a magnetic field. The magnetic field turns the rotor inside the stator. The rotor is attached to the axles of the car. And as the rotor turns, it makes the wheels of the car spin. When we move the car forward, electricity flows to the motor and the car moves. When we brake and slow the car down, some electric cars recycle the energy from braking. and the energy is stored inside the battery to be used to power the car again. That is so clever. Can you see the screen just here? It's called an energy usage screen, and it has a dial on it. The dial tells if the car is using energy to drive or recycling energy because it's braking. I'm going to go for another drive, but so you can see what happens on the energy usage screen, I'm going to put one of my special cameras on the dashboard. Now ready to go. As I drive the car away and accelerate, the dial on the energy usage screen moves to the right. That's because it's using energy. Now the car is braking. The dial moves to the left because it's recycling energy by charging the battery. And because the car is storing energy, it can keep going for longer. How brilliant is that? I loved finding out how electric cars work. What was your favourite part? Can you remember the name of the part of the car that stores electrical energy to move the car forward? That's right, the battery. Do you remember the sound the electric car made when I turned it on? It made a little bleep. And did you see the energy usage screen on my special camera? It moved right when I was driving and left when it was recycling energy. We may use a car if we're trying to go somewhere that's a long way away. But often, if something's close by, I like to walk. I like to walk in all weathers. When it's raining, if it's a sunny day like today, and even when it's windy. We can feel the wind blowing, but do you know how wind is made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Wind.
To find out how wind is made, I've come to the seaside! Wind is air moving all around us. It looks like there's nothing there, but air is made up of millions and millions of tiny particles called gas molecules. We can't see gas molecules with our own eyes because they're so tiny, but we can feel them as wind. Wind can do lots of clever things, like move big fluffy clouds across the sky. It can make waves on the sea, and even turn massive wind turbines, which make electricity. We can even have lots of fun with the wind and use it to fly a kite. The kite is noisy flying in the wind. Wind can blow in lots of different directions. To find out which direction the wind is blowing in today, I've made this. It's called a weather vane. But before the weather vane can tell today's wind direction, I need to draw each direction in the sand. Do you know what the letters mean? That's right, this is north, south, east and west. The arrow on the weather vane will point in the direction where the wind is blowing from. So, let's see what happens. The wind is blowing from somewhere between the south and the west. We call this the southwest. So the wind is blowing in a southwesterly direction. We can also make wind using a fan. When I turn this on, the blades spin round and round really fast, and the blades push the gas molecules in the air forward, and I can feel that on my face as wind, which is perfect to cool down on a hot day. We can even make wind using our breath. If we breathe in and blow out hard, it makes the gas molecules we breathe out move quickly. So we can make wind, so we can blow out birthday candles. But what makes makes the gas molecules move around us on a windy day? Well, one of the reasons is because our planet Earth, is made up of land and sea. And it's the different temperatures of the land and sea that create winds. To show you the difference in temperature between the land and the sea, I'm going to use one of my special cameras. This is a thermal imaging camera, and it shows us how hot or cold things are. Can you see the sea is purple? That tells us that it's really cold. Now, if we take a look at the land, can you see the difference? It's yellow and orange. That means it's much warmer. The sun heats the land up quicker during the day than the sea. But how can temperature make it windy? The land heats up the air above it, and this warm air rises up. And we say that the area below the warm air has low pressure. The cool air above the sea doesn't rise, and we say that that has a high pressure. When the warm air above the land rises up, it leaves a space. And the cool air with high pressure above the sea can move into it. And we feel this moving air towards the land as wind. Do you remember what happens to hot air? That's right, it rises. And we can see that happening. I'm going to show you how using a glass bottle with a latex balloon that I've put over the top and 2 bowls. One of them is full of hot water, and the other is full of cold water. The balloon is trapping air inside the bottle, but can you see that at the moment the balloon is floppy? Watch what happens when I put it in the hot water. Look, did you see that? The hot water is heating up the air inside the bottle, and as the air heats up, it's filling the balloon, just like the air above the land. Now watch what happens when I put the bottle in cold water. Floppy again. That's because the cold water has cooled the air inside the bottle, and the cool air has moved from the balloon back down into the bottle, just like the air above the sea. I've had lots of fun at the seaside finding out how wind is made. What was your favourite part? Do you remember what wind is made of? That's right, gas molecules. Did you hear the noisy wind when I was flying my kite? And did you see the different colours on my special thermal camera? Orange and yellow is warmer, and purple is cooler. So the next time you feel the wind, you'll know how it's made. And if you see an electric car, you'll know how it works. I'll see you next time. Hello, I'm Maddie, and today I'm heading outside. When I'm outside, I love to water my plants. Looking for bugs and insects. Playing with my hula hoop. Have you ever played with a hula hoop before? Hey! That was really fun. By moving my body, I'm able to spin the hula hoop. But how does the hula hoop spin? Do you know how a hula hoop works? Let's find out. How does it work?
Hula hoop.
To make a hula hoop spin around our bodies, we need to get the right rhythm. That was a bit wobbly. Okay, let's try again. Gotta get that rhythm. Here we go. Look, the hula hoop is staying up. Oh, it's a bit like a dance, isn't it? When you do the hula hoop dance. But look what happens when I stop doing the hula hoop dance. The hula hoop drops to the ground. So why is it that when I move my body, the hula hoop will stay spinning in the air, but when I stop moving, it drops? The hula hoop keeps moving, partly because of a force called gravity. Gravity is a force that pulls everything on Earth downwards. But if gravity pulls everything down, how is my body keeping the hula hoop up? To find out what's happening, I think we need to take a closer look. When we play with a hula hoop, we move our bodies to make the hula hoop turn around us. Each time the hula hoop hits our bodies, we push it upwards. When something moves round and round in a circle, we say it has a centripetal force. The centripetal force our bodies make stops gravity pulling the hula hoop to the ground. So if we keep our bodies moving, the hula hoop will keep spinning and stay up in the air. Wow, that was really interesting. So gravity is a force that pulls everything down. But when I'm hula hooping, if I keep my body moving in the right way, then centripetal force will stop gravity from pulling the hula hoop down, keeping it up in the air. Centripetal force is a force that keeps things moving round and round. Phew. Let me show you something. What do you think will happen if I push this ball? That's right, it will move forward in a straight line, like this. That's because when something moves from place to place, if there's nothing stopping it, then it will move forward in a straight line. This is called linear motion. Now let's try something else. This time, I'm going to put the ball in the hoop and roll it so that the ball is always touching the inside of the hula hoop. Look, the ball is moving around in a circle. When something moves in a circle, it has centripetal force. But what do you think will happen if I take the hula hoop away? Off it goes! It's rolled in a straight line. That's linear motion. Let's see how I use centripetal force to keep the hula hoop spinning. And to help, I'm going to use my tiny special camera. I'm recording. Here goes. Whoa! It's like being on a really fast merry-go-round. Why don't you count the spins with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you see that if I keep my body moving, the hula hoop keeps spinning? Oh, but that is just one hula hoop. What do you think would happen if we tried to spin lots of hula hoops at the same time? To find out, I'm going to film my friend Rachel spinning 10 hula hoops at the same time using my special slow motion camera. It lets us see things that happen quickly, much slower. I'm also putting my tiny special camera on one of Rachel's hoops, so we can see things close up. Okay, Rachel, 3, 2, 1, go! Wow, look at Rachel spinning all those hula hoops at the same time. By moving her body, Rachel is making all of the hula hoops spin around in a circle, keeping them up in the air. And the centripetal force stops gravity pulling the hula hoops to the floor. Can you hear the sound of all of the hula hoops clicking and clacking as they hit each other? When Rachel stops moving her body, gravity pulls the hula hoops to the ground. Wow, that was great! I loved finding out how a hula hoop works. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the name of the force that makes a hula hoop go round in a circle? That's right, it's centripetal force. Did you hear the sound the hula hoops made when Rachel was spinning them around her body? Did you see on my tiny special camera as it spun around my body when I was doing the hula hoop dance? I love to play with my hula hoop outdoors. What else can we do outdoors? We can play football or go for a walk. I like to go camping. When we go camping, we need a tent. A tent gives us somewhere comfortable to sleep and shelter from the cold and rain. And when we've finished with it, we can pack it away. So it goes from this to this. But how is a tent made so that it protects us from the wind and rain? Do you know how a tent is made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Tent.
To find out how tents are made, I've come here to a tent factory. This type of tent has a curved top and is called a dome tent. And the factory are making a dome tent today. This tent has an outer layer called a fly sheet, and there are some ropes. These are called guy ropes, and they help to keep the tent firmly fixed in place even when it's really windy. Shall we take a look inside? Inside the tent is an inner layer. It's the same shape as the outer sheet, and it's called the inner sheet. And down here is the ground sheet. It protects anybody who's sleeping in the tent if the ground is cold or wet. And look, this is called a sleeve. A tent pole goes inside the sleeve to hold the tent up. The poles go into these loops of fabric, and this is a tent peg that will fix the loops and the guy ropes into the ground to hold it in place. The fly sheet and the inner sheet are made from a material called nylon. Before the nylon comes to the factory, it's coated in a special material called resin. Resin starts out as a liquid, but when it dries, it coats the fabric, and that will stop any rain coming through. We say that it's waterproof. To start making the tent, the nylon is rolled out onto this huge cutting table. Dawn uses a big machine to roll out the nylon and cut each piece to the right length, building up lots of layers. Next, she rolls a giant sheet of paper on top, so she can draw the shapes needed to make the tent. Lots of different shapes, aren't there? What does this shape look like to you? I think it looks like a piece of cheese. And that is going to be one of the roof panels. Now all the shapes have been drawn, it's time to cut them out. The table has little holes in it which blow out air. It's like a flying carpet. It lifts all of the layers of fabric up just a tiny bit, so now Dawn can move everything around easily. Dawn then uses a straight knife machine which cuts out all the shapes. Now it's time for the nylon tent pieces to be sewn into a tent at the sewing machines. First, the green fly sheet is sewn. Where two pieces of material are stitched together, we call it a seam. Once the fly sheet is finished, Dawn stitches the inner sheet together. Look, the inner sheet is yellow, and this part of the inner sheet is the door. The door is being stitched together with this material. It's called mesh. And if you look really closely, you can see that the mesh has lots of tiny holes in it. And those holes will keep insects outside of the tent, but let the fresh air in. And lastly, Dawn sews in the sleeves, where the tent poles go. But when the seam is stitched, the needle makes tiny holes in the nylon, and the holes mean the rain can get in. We don't want that. So to make the whole tent waterproof, it's brought here to the taping machine. As the fabric goes through the rollers, the tape is heated by really hot air, and this melts the tape so it sticks to the fabric, and this makes the seams waterproof. Now the tent is made, but it's all floppy. Can you remember what we need to help the tent stand up? That's right, tent poles. These tent poles are made out of a metal called aluminium, which is light but also very strong. Each tent pole is made up of pole sections that can be joined together to make one long tent pole. Can you see the piece of elastic inside the poles? It holds the tent pole pieces together. Oh, I love the snapping sound of the sections joining together. Snap. Here we are, and when we want to put the tent away, we can fold them up again. Just like that. Now, we've got everything we need, so let's head outside and put up the tent. To show you how this tent goes up, I'm going to film a time-lapse using one of my special cameras. It will only take a few minutes, but when we watch it back, it will happen even out the green fly sheet, then the yellow inner layer, where I put the tent poles into the sleeves. Up it goes. Wow, it's really starting to look like a tent now, isn't it? And once it's up, I put the fly sheet on top to protect the tent from the rain, before finally using the guy ropes and tent pegs to fix the tent to the floor. And there we go, a finished tent. I loved finding out how a tent is made. What was your favourite bit? Can you remember the name of the material that's used to make the tent with? That's right, it's called nylon. Did you hear the sound of the tent poles snapping together? Stack! And did you see me build the tent on my special time-lapse camera? So the next time you go camping, you'll know how a tent is made to protect you from the wind and rain. And if you have a play with a hula hoop, you'll know how to use your body to keep it up in the air. Right, after all that, I think I need to lie down in the tent. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things